formerly known as Art Glass Edge. Trusted by industry professionals. Creating spaces with clarity and purpose. This is Infinite Glass India.
Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of Make It Clear from Infinite Glass India. Today we have Soniya. She's an interior designer, architect, and founder of House of Sri, which is located in T Nagar, Chennai. Hi Soniya,
Hi, Rithvik. Thank you for having me.
thank you for coming. Before we get into this conversation, what really drew you to create spaces?
It's actually a very good question. So, for me, design is about not just, creating spaces, keeping products anganga. It's not like that. It's more about getting to understand the space, the form, the light, the movement of the owner. Or, for example, if they're in a specific profession, அவங்களுக்குன்னு என்ன, they like everything matters. So, I like, interaction. I like creating spaces that feels personal more than just aesthetics. So I think that was one core reason that I chose to, design or create spaces.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful answer. Okay, let's jump into the conversation, Sonia. Tell me, what makes a space memorable? Not just useful, but actually remembered.
So for me, I think a memorable space is not just aesthetics. It's more about the ventilation that goes in, how much light is coming in throughout the day, and the flow of movement without any restrictions. It should have a harmonious flow. That's, I think, more important. Or that something that design should be remembered by initially. When it comes to odd objects or things, something like this, when we're using like a very aesthetic glass or something like that, and remember we extremely remembered by or a memorable thing. When we go to somebody's house, they may say, "Oh, that house." They'll remember this case by that thing.
You mean like a partition when
Yeah,
light
and
passes
glass partition. Like and the HM Malin, when you have glass, and if there's painting or something, the whole reflection falls on the floor or on the wall. That is something very new, and people remember the space by all that. I think that makes the space more memorable or remembered by.
that actually makes sense, Sonia. So 9 out of the 10 times, light is something a major thing in a space where it's very important, and when it is done right into a space with the correct alignment of things, and I feel like that's where glass comes in. That's where it adds a element to fulfill it.
Actually, the only when there's the space is too small, so the only person who can bring in more light is glass. If the space is really constrained, if you don't want to feel claustrophobic, and you add glass to it, light passes through. So that actually helps.
So I have an interesting question for you.
Yes.
The moment glass comes off, especially balconies, staircase, kids in the house, people go straight to it. So what if it breaks? Is that fear outdated?
That fear is extremely understandable. In fact, I recently worked with a couple who had a toddler, and they came up with something like this. I suggested they do a glass balcony for their interior skirt, and then they were like, "No, we have a toddler. We don't want to do this." But and then I had to take time to educate them about the types of glass there's stuff in. There's laminated, there's fabricated. There's so many options we can go through. But clients nowadays, not many are aware of all those options. So, but
Which is safety glass.
yeah, but I think it's just a misconception that people have that's been there for years now. And I think it's time we break it, because I've seen people, or I've worked with clients who've been open about having glass tables as well. So that's possible too. And I don't think like there's any more fear anymore.
Yeah. So even I have worked with many customers, and what they normally fear is like, I have kids in my home. What if they go and barge onto the glass? What if they'll have this little cycle in their house? What if they fast go and dash to the cycle? What we usually recommend them is, we educate them first that safety glass is there, which is toughened and then laminated. And in laminated, you have two glasses, which is sandwiched, and wherever you use it as a partition or wherever you need it as a profile door, it is very strong, reliable. Another misconception, we actually deal with glass is no privacy. So people want open layouts, but still need private spaces in their bedrooms, bathrooms, home offices. Uh, how do you still hold on both sides as a designer?
So when it comes to flexible spacing, when you're especially designing with static zones, it's not just one area. You're designing for different people, different time zones, um, different purposes, obviously. So for எல்லாத்துக்குமே ஒரே solution கொடுக்க முடியாது. But we still want to have design element fixed into it. So what we can probably do is during the day, when people are around and all that, you can have like a plain glass. And now there's so many options you can give in glass, like smart glass or like laminated glass, that options, all that. Or fluted glass, that's a very good option. All that, it doesn't completely make it transparent. You'll know there's somebody there, but it's not transparent. Like you still have privacy.
Yeah. So people usually go with opaque every time. Opaque.
What is the purpose of having glass? Like it feels. I mean, it's a very good idea.
A static thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we actually, as you said, smart switchable glass is a very good option.
Yes.
Which people are not aware with. Just one click of a button, you can turn your home into office. It's a really good option. So as we were talking about changing spaces, transforming spaces, basically, where do you see glass create most dramatic change in residential space?
Okay. Most dramatic changes, mostly when the house is very compact. For example, in a living room, some living rooms come with the dining area, but you can't differentiate it because there's no break. Continuous arco. And the situation like you can put a glass partition where it doesn't feel like there's a huge wall in between, but there's still a flow. That's a good space. Or we can do staircases, railing. For example, when the space, again, if the space is so constrained or if it's சின்னதா இருக்கு turning, அப்படின்னா, when you place glass there, you won't feel like you're being, squished into a place and you're walking in a
Curved glass.
curved situation. It'll be very nice. It'll be seamless. It also looks rich. Apart from any material I've worked with, firstly, I feel like glass gives more richness. It feels luxurious to a space. That is definitely there. Or if you use more textured glass or you tinted it or something like that, that gives a lot of drama.
So what do you think about bathroom spaces? Because I have personally seen every house you go nowadays, they're only using clear glass.
Yeah.
Plain clear glass or anything with opaque finish.
True. Lately, well, I think for the past 2 to 3 years, I've been recommending a lot of my clients to do fluted glass instead. So there's privacy. Plus, you can still see that there's a space continuing. It's not just a break. So that's actually a very good option you can do.
What I suggest is sometimes I go, so I show them pictures of what we did. It is lacquered glass with design.
Oh, that's also a good option. Yeah.
So that,
Yeah.
very simple.
Yeah.
Instead of clear glass, you
Yes. You can go for something. Yeah.
It is very good,
True. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Colors will be there. Sets your mood with the lights.
Instead of, like you said, just beige, grey, you add one, pop of color inside the bathroom. That's actually a good idea. Yeah.
Okay, Sonia. Now let's jump into a fun, exciting segment,
Okay.
which is rapid fire. So I have set of questions to you where you should answer me quick, 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 quick. So the first question is minimal look or maximum look?
Maximum.
Okay. What material that will never go out of style?
Athangudi tiles.
Atangudi tile.
Yeah, I think that'll never go out of style. It's been living through. So yeah.
Biggest mistake home owners make before calling a designer?
They buy all the furniture they like, anganga, and then they start to design the space, which is a very bad idea. So you have to create the space then, and then on the இடத்துக்கு whatever you need, you have to buy furniture next. So that I think is one mistake.
Glass or wood?
Glass.
One trend you wish would end right now?
So there's a lot of people who are getting into open shelving in the kitchen, which means they have glass shutters and all that. It looks aesthetically nice initially, but when it comes to maintenance or all that, it just gets too cluttered and all that. And they don't plan the space well as well. So that I think it should end. Yeah.
Classic kitchen or modular kitchen?
Personally, classical, something I recommend to clients is modern because it gives you a flow on where to start. For example, you start your morning day with coffee and all that. That gives you a flow when it's more modern. Classical way, if you have more space, I think classical works well. If you have even a very small cluttered space, modern is the best.
If you suggest glass or wood in the kitchen?
I actually suggest both, but on the bottom, if you feel like, you carry a lot of things that might give you scratches, you can use glass shutters on the top and then go with wood on. You can mix and match, play with design. Absolutely. It doesn't matter.
So as we were talking about washroom space, let's dive into kitchen. I love kitchens basically. So how do you style it, and part of how people show their home, and what design mistakes do you still see there?
So surprisingly, kitchen is one place that people want to show off. I mean, a lot of people don't know it, but that's one thing. And they're very specific about designing that space. They take a lot of time to, design each and every corner so that it works with functionality, not just aesthetics. And they come with a lot of Pinterest pictures. And they want everything in the same space. We cannot do that, okay? You cannot mix brass or some other material or wood, that everything in one place. It's going to look extremely cluttered. And their perception is, inga irukkiradhu appadi anga replace agun, which is not true. Anga irukra spacing vera, lights vera, everything is completely different. And replicating that is, practically not possible. So that mistakes, I would say, just stick on to one specific material or two materials. Go with different colors on it. For example, you're going for now it's very trending is you go for a wood color like brown, and then you go for a green or a very nice.
So that's what you suggest in the kitchen space.
I would absolutely suggest for only rende material choose panni. You go for different color or texture in it, that's fine. And then use a nice backsplash. It's very minimal, simple. And again, பார்க்க நல்லா இருக்கும், but every day when you're functionally using all that on an everyday basis, it's not going to help. Even if it does 1 month, 2 months, it'll go well. And if there's no routine, if there's no flow on functionality, the space is not going to serve its purpose, basically, according to me. So I would suggest எவ்வளோ more clear, open வச்சுக்க முடியுமோ, it's better for us.
Many people don't use glass as a backsplash on the kitchen counter area.
Yes.
So let's say the slab is there and the counter part, you can use glass there. Have you wondered it?
Common misconception is, for example, there's a hot biryani or something, and you just, they're scared about going and hitting it, already break or something like that.
I'll break a myth. Okay.
Yeah.
The stove which you cook, the gas stove which you cook, is coming on glass.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how people think that glass is not safe anymore.
That's a very good, yeah.
People cook on glass. Yeah, and why not add as a backsplash? Because colors, there's options of colors where you can add as a backsplash.
True.
You can play around with it. You can literally play around with glass.
That's actually a good.
And when the light passes, especially when the light passes, and you have an amazing setup of a kitchen, trust me, it adds more depth
Yes.
onto, let's say, a modular kitchen.
I think that's also a conversation starter when you have something interesting. I think that's really cool when you can add different elements somewhere. Because nobody, I think, thinks about having glass there or glass mari irukra tile they're open, but that's actually a very good idea.
What's the most overrated thing happening in Indian interior design right now?
I think a lot of people are going to hate me for this and I'm going to be cancelled or something. But Japandi is a type of style that's been trending right now. So you basically use a lot of beige, browns, neutral texture types. That is, it's okay if you're using it somewhere, like one area, but your entire theme is based on just a specific design. You won't age with it, is what I feel. Meaning, for example, you have a 7-year-old or 10-year-old kid that likes a specific character in like some place like a Marvel or something. They're not going to grow into it. Meaning, அதுவே பிடிக்காது கொஞ்ச நாள் கழிச்சு it'll change or something. So you spend a lot of money and time into that specific interior theme. And poga you'll get bored of it or something. Exactly the same way when it goes with some other style that's been trending. இப்போதைக்கு இது நல்லா இருக்கும் தவிர, but functionally, practically, on a longer run, it is completely not advisable to, go with a trending. Rather, நம்மளுக்கு or number, whatever the family situation is or how we feel like functions better for us. If you sit and, design, for example, if it's a big family or something like that, அதுக்கேத்த மாதிரி you can design spaces. எல்லாத்தையுமே நம்ம இப்பவே கிளட்டர் பண்ணி இங்க அங்க எல்லாத்தையும் வச்சுட்டோம்னா you won't have space to grow. That is something that people who already designed houses, அவங்களுக்கு வந்து அவங்க Pinterest போர்டே ரெடியா இருக்கும். Everything they already want is already given. But you can't work like that. You always have to leave more room for growth. Could be design, could be things, anything. இப்பவே மொத்தமா வைக்கணும்ன்ற அவசியம் கிடையாது.
So we have spoken a lot about bedrooms, washrooms, kitchens. Now let's come into high-end projects where walls aren't flat anymore. There's a lot of depth and texture, but still very clean. What do you think that is driving towards it?
So when people talk about minimalism, it's not just always cluttered. A place can be completely empty. Like you don't have to have anything there. So that itself creates depth, texture, or for example, you're walking into a narrow path and ரெண்டு சைடுமே எம்டியா இருக்கலாம் தப்பில்லை because that perspection is giving you a focal point. So if you want, that's fine. You can add frames on the side and everything and all that. Or just leave it plain. That if you ask me, it's also design. According to me, that's also design. So it's not going to disturb anything. How do you say it? It'll coexist with the design and it'll lead you to another place. So it's more like transitioning from one space to another space could be absolutely empty and that's still design. Yeah.
Very recently,
Okay.
I got a call from my interior contractor person. He runs, he takes contract for houses and stuff. So he calls up Rithvik. There's a plain space there, and it's actually a wash basin area. There is already wall paneling done in mirror, and it is very incomplete. I feel it's very incomplete. I want you to do something different in that. But it should be it should elevate the space. So what we did is, instead of, it's the same wall panel, but instead of the diamond cut, we gave the diamond cut in V-groove design. So, it's not a single glass. You just have to paste it on the wall. Instead, you just have to hang it.
Understood.
So there's a co-leg behind. So it just boosts the space on
I get it. Yeah. It's generally used in dining tables,
dining.
next to the dining table and all that. Or like you said, if an empty space, you just have a niche and then that mirror and probably some like objects on the top. Yeah.
The real good part about is you can use a V-groove anything. So let's say it's a painted glass. Let's say it's a mirror. Let's say it's a bronze mirror. Let's say it's a golden mirror. There's so much possibilities where you can play around. So talking further about high-end construction projects, high-end sites, there's something we see it in a lot of sites, especially the older ones. It looks good on the paper, but when you walk in, something feels off, something feels heavy. Sometimes it feels it's really empty that you need to add more and more. What do you think that's usually wrong in those sites?
When in situations like that, the first and most seen situation would be that there's no natural light in the space. So when we're imagining a space or when we're designing a space, the coloring, even if you're buying very expensive stuff, அதாவது நீங்க ரொம்ப தேடி தேடி அந்த ஊர்ல இருந்து import பண்ணி whatever you're buying and you're keeping it there, won't have that wow factor there. That's because there's no natural light. You can replicate it, you can put spotlights, you can do everything. But அதை highlight பண்றது வந்து you definitely need natural light every way possible, wherever. So when you're building or designing a space itself, it's highly recommended that you try to bring in more light inside the space. So it gives more
Skylight glass, basically.
something like that. Yes, skylight glass is something that's 999% that solves all your problems. Yeah. Now it's my turn. And I'm also going to ask you about 7 to 9 questions. Okay. So are you ready?
Always.
Okay, perfect. What is the most misunderstood thing about architectural glass?
So it's a very good question. Architectural glass is not only for premium look or giving those aesthetic looks. It's more of performance oriented, like heat control, sunlight prevention, basically,
All that.
lighting, yeah, and safety mainly.
Perfect. Okay. What is the most underused glass application in an Indian house?
Underused glass application.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a very good question. Mostly I would say shower cubicle partitions
Okay.
or dining table glass.
Dining table glass.
Very beautiful element.
It's beautiful, but like you said, I don't think I've seen anybody have a dining table glass. It's a very bold choice. So yeah, okay. Next question. What defines premium in glass execution?
Even if the glass is premium, the installation team should be very good at it to look very even in the execution part.
That matters most. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next one. What is the types of glass that people need to be more aware of, more than clear and all that?
Very, very good question. Laminated glass, because there is humongous possibilities of what we can do with
Laminated glass. Okay. What is one place where you can immediately think about using laminated glass?
Okay. Partition.
Partitions. Okay. I would say
Remote of the hall and your dining space. If
Dining
it's in the same area.
same open space, you can divide it like. Okay. Okay. Does glass increase maintenance? This is one question all my clients ask me. So this is like a universal answer, guys. So
Glass is very easy to maintain. There's nothing that you need to maintain. Every 10 days once or a week once, depending upon the place.
you said
It depends upon the place and use.
okay.
You just normally use a colon or a
Something that, yeah. Okay. Can glass reduce heat and noise?
Of course, yes.
It does?
Yeah. For noise reduction, you can use DGU glass. And for the heat, there is a lot of possibilities again with anti-ray film. which is a new incoming product from what we have launched.
Is glass used only for modern interiors?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
You can use it anywhere. There's a lot of possibilities with glass.
Yeah.
What glass does? There's a lot of designs you can add in the glass, which can be modern, which can be classical. Yeah. So, Sonia, we have finally made it to the end of Make It Clear podcast. Thank you for joining me. Do you want to add something finally to our audience?
First of all, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
What I would like to say is good design is not about aesthetics. It's knowing what question to ask yourself when you're designing the space. And when you design a space, it's again not about aesthetics. You just have to know what to put where and not to follow trends blindly. Just go with what comes your way, whatever feels comfortable to you. Functionality comes first, then design, or like aesthetics, color, everything. So yeah, that's just what I would like to say.
So the whole point of the show is to not tell what clients have to choose, what you have to choose. It's moreover about giving them clarity on what they want, what is possible and what not possible. Basically giving them clarity.
Yeah, I think another important thing is you have to think about what you want that space to do for you as a person yourself, or will the same feeling be there for the next 15 years? Will it serve the purpose? Will you feel the same way when you enter inside the room after a certain amount of time? Is all something you have to think about while you're designing the space. So that I think we've covered in this podcast. So
Thank you for joining me today, Sonia. I have personally learned a lot on how you can elevate your space, with what you can elevate your space. Once again, thank you for joining me for the first episode of Make It Clear. I'm truly honored. Looking for future collaborations. I'm sure you will get a lot. Wish you all the very best. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining today. If you want to understand how glass could elevate your space, that's where we come in at Infinite Glass India. I'm Rithvik. This is Make It Clear. Thank you. See you in the next episode.